low carb, sugar-free dark chocolate.
Chocolate is one of my favorite things to eat in this world, and it was also one of the only conditions that Louis considered going onto the low carb diet is to still have his treats.
Yeah, I do love chocolate, and once we decided we're going to take on this journey, my first and foremost
Priority, actually.
Yeah, let's call it priority. My priority was figuring out how to do the treats. And not just for me, it's for the kids, it's not for me. So Adelia's cutting the butter into smaller chunks, which makes it much more manageable to work with.
It also makes it easier to weigh it, to get to your exact measurements, and it makes the melting process a bit easier. Just be careful when you cut it. It can be quite hard. It's harder than expected. I was quite surprised the first time.
Just be careful for those fingers.
Yes, get them out of the way.
So we keep a little bit of the butter separate. We're not going to melt everything. We're going to keep about 30% separate, and we're going to melt the rest for now. Just make sure that you don't melt it too hot or too fast. We're going to get to about 60 degrees Celsius once it's completely melted, and it does take a while.
While you're waiting for the butter to melt and to get to the correct temperature, start measuring your dry ingredients.
It's basically just cocoa powder and, in quotes, sugar. We use xylitol. You can probably use whatever you want, but our measurements are for xylitol. So the reason why we blend this in a solids blender basically is to get the particle size down. And particle size has got a lot to do with how smooth the chocolate will be once you eat it. If you don't do this, your chocolate is going to be grainy and granular, and it's not going to taste like proper chocolate.
When you blend it, just make sure that your blender can actually handle dry components and that it doesn't overheat while you are blending.
I sometimes feel the container actually getting hot as it heats up the solids because of all the friction. So make sure your blender can handle it. Once the butter is melted, we're just going to add our dry ingredients. Simple as that. Just keep on stirring, keep on adding. Don't add the extra butter that we left out. Don't add that yet. Add all the dry ingredients, all the cocoa powder and the xylitol. You'll get to a consistency which seems a bit muddy and not as smooth. That's because we don't have enough butter in the mixture, and at this point that's where we're going to add the extra cocoa butter that we set aside in the beginning of this recipe.
The extra cocoa butter is now used to cool down the mixture to a temperature that's acceptable to actually pour it into the containers, but it's also used to give the chocolate the correct molecules, or to encourage it to form the correct molecules.
There's different kinds of processes. We use a process called seeding, which is actually using some solids to cool the hot mixture. The solids will encourage the hot mixture to form the exact same crystals as what the solid crystals are made of. This is called tempering chocolate, and if you don't do this, your chocolate is going to be soft when it sets. It's not going to have that nice snap to it, so it's important to temper the chocolate correctly, and this method of seeding works really well. We just use normal silicone molds to pour our chocolate in. You can use any type of mold that you've got lying around. Once it's poured into the molds, just leave it on the counter. If you did do the seeding process correctly, you don't even have to put it in the fridge. You can leave it on the counter. It's going to take probably about an hour, hour and a half to set completely. Once it's completely set, you can put it in the fridge if you want it a little bit harder. Otherwise, you'll just enjoy them straight from the mold.
Buon appetito!
Cheers!
If you like this video, give us a thumbs up and support us by subscribing to our channel.